Hello, it's your boy Terrence Cummings, aka the Music Master, coming back for another Music is Live podcast from the home studio of Tupelo Music Academy in good Tupelo, Mississippi. I want to welcome you to another Music is Live podcast. Today we have a fantastic guest that I'm excited about interviewing. Um, uh, this is going to be a really good one, and we're looking forward to getting into that. But before we bring our interview guest in, I do have a few housekeeping things. We have one more weekend, and we will be getting set for our music open house. In March, we had a great music open house. A lot of our students got an opportunity to perform for family and friends, along with new and potential parents who came in. So May the 6th, which is next Saturday, we're having music open house. Now, it'll be a little different this time. We will allow parents and students who are interested in music lessons to come in and meet the staff. Myself, along with my staff members, will be there in live classes. So you'll get an opportunity to see how we work on a given academic music lesson day. It gives you an opportunity to sit in a class. This is a free opportunity for our community. We have music open house May the 6th. It starts at 10:30 a.m. and goes to 12 p.m. It is free and open to the public. We look forward to seeing some of our guests there. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can always reach me at 662-397-1632. That is 662-397-1632, or info at tupelomusicacademy.com. When you get there, you have an opportunity just to try us out. But if you'd like to join us and be a part, we do have a great information pack that we'll give you, 5 ways to get the most out of your music lesson, and you will get your free Tupelo Music Academy T-shirt, along with our first level bands. And I got it blurry, but anyway, you get your band. You get an opportunity to be a part of the Tupelo Music Academy family. Let me put that band back up. We start all of our students off on the artist level, and you get your T-shirt along with your information pack, and you get yourself started that next week. We look forward to a lot of parents and students coming out for that. So that is May the 6th at 10:30 to 12, and then next month we will be getting prepared for our big black tie recital, which is June the 10th. Looking forward to that. A lot of our students will be performing on that night with family and friends. We'll be having pictures. We'll have food that night, and yours truly, along with a lot of the Tupelo Music Academy staff members, will be performing that night. So that's going to be a really big night. We'll talk more about that going into May. But today we have a special guest. This guy is awesome on the drums, great musician, great person. I've had an opportunity to meet him here and there, and every time it's always been a pleasure to be around good musicians and just general good people. So I want to kind of show a little bit to our Tupelo Music Academy community before we bring him on. Got some great videos on here, bud.
Thanks, man.
got some players on that video right there. Uh, if you don't know, our guest today is Mr. Jason Palmer himself. We have him on the Music is Live Tupelo Music Academy podcast. Welcome, Mr. Jason.
Man, thank you so much, Terrence. Great to be with you.
Yes, sir, man. I reached out to you and you gladly accepted, and we definitely appreciate you being a part and adding some gems today. So I know a little bit about you, and then there are a lot of people in my group that know about you. But for those who don't know about you, give a little intro about who you are.
Sure. Jason Palmer. I grew up most of my life here in Tupelo. Started playing drums because my dad was a drummer. He was a drummer in the 50s, and so there was always a drum set around the house. So I started playing when I was 4. Did a little bit of marching band here and there, and then after I graduated college, I decided to get real serious with my drumming. So I moved away from Tupelo and moved to Hollywood, California, and went to a 1 year intense drum school called Percussion Institute of Technology. It's part of Musicians Institute there in Hollywood. So I graduated from there in 1991, and I stayed in Hollywood or Los Angeles for the next 4 years just playing music and learned a ton.
Man, now you gave me something new there. I didn't know your dad uh,
Yeah,
was a drummer. Okay,
sure.
that's
Yeah,
that
he, yeah,
that's a new
yeah.
gem. Usually, when I interview, that's where it comes from. I know my mother was, well, she still sings for us, but she played piano and organ for us at church. So, music usually comes from one or two of the parents. So that was a
Yes,
gem I
that's
didn't know.
exactly right. Yeah, and so and the only way to play drums back then in the house was what? You had to play with an actual record player. Your audience may not know what records are. I don't know.
We might know a little bit. Well, especially my group, because I definitely had the record player going. We had records and 8 tracks, and then
Yes.
cassettes, then to the CD, and now we're all digital.
Yep, that's right.
Well,
So yeah.
all right. Well, let's get into some of your musical story.
Okay.
Earlier this week I talked about my journey as far as learning. Uh, what are some of the things that, and I always express this to our students, there are so many ways to learn. There's not just one teacher. There's not just one way. There's a lot of ways. So could you share with some of the ways that you picked up just becoming a musician?
Absolutely. My dad, I have to credit him not only for having a set of drums in the house, but it was his record collection that I was exposed to first. And that had such a huge impact on me. And I'm so thankful that all of it that he had was just great music. So, I was exposed early to a lot of Stevie Wonder, Average White Band, Earth, Wind and Fire, Bootsy Collins. My dad listened to that. But there again, I also listened to Led Zeppelin and, a little, some metal stuff here and there. So I was exposed to a lot in those younger years. But I joined band, like in the 7th or 8th grade, I can't remember. And I am so thankful as a drummer that I did that because not only did I learn rudimentary drumming, I took that opportunity to learn some melodic instruments. I picked up baritone horn, I picked up tenor sax during my band years. And I highly recommend that. Even if you think you just want to end up playing drums, it is so important to have some, basic theory, melodic training. So after that, I did that through high school. I kind of got burnt out on the marching band thing in high school, and I wasn't a part of it that last year because I was thinking I knew about this school in Hollywood that was at that time they offered a drum school, a guitar school, and a bass school. That's all they had at that time. They've since expanded, but it was kind of a dream of mine to go out there, but it was so critical that I already had a basic rudimentary knowledge, and I could read basic rhythm charts and some basic melodic charts before I went to Los Angeles because as a musician or of any kind here in Tupelo, it's easy to get a little bit I won't say lazy, but just a little bit not as motivated because you can learn enough to play just about anywhere here in town. There's not but just a handful of styles that you need to cover. But to be a well-rounded drummer and to be able to, you know, play on as many records as you can, you need to be well versed in all styles. Living here, I was not exposed to many styles, so I was really looking forward to seeing what living in Hollywood for a year and studying with, you know, all the pros in the music world would do. And man, it's I cannot harp on enough how important getting with an instructor and you know, getting a different perspective, because here's the deal about learning. As players, we can go into our shed and we can shed for hours. We can play lick after lick after lick, but that's not doing anything furthering your playing. When I used to practice in Hollywood in my practice room at that school, when I'd take a break, I'd walk around and I could always spot the people that were actually practicing, because what a real practice to me should sound like is, you know, on a set of drums, you maybe play a pattern and you mess up and you have to go back and you have to do it again. You mess up until you get that muscle memory. You keep practicing. Practicing shouldn't sound great. It should sound like somebody in there struggling. That's what real practice is. So to your question, man, it, you know, thinking that you've got it all figured out, you don't, and you need to not only get with an instructor here, but with the internet, you know, check out all kind of styles. Just be as well. You don't have to master the styles, but be versed in as many as you can. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, man, I really like that. I know with my parents were ministers, and my mom did the music, but she also allowed us to listen to a lot of things.
Absolutely. Yes.
And in the early '80s, a Pentecostal preacher allowing you uh, now I'm gonna say this and put this in parameters.
Okay.
She kept us in check,
Yes.
and but the exposure that I had to say, hey, there are certain things that's on, you got to pick it up. And I know I like what you said. You know, your dad's collection. My mom had a great record collection. My dad listened to certain music, and I was always just trying to soak up whatever I could, um, playing air drums and paper saxophones to learn. So I really like that you expand yourself. And yes, it's easy. Now I've never gotten the opportunity to be in L.A. or New York, but the places that I have gotten a chance to play through either high school band, college band, or when I just got a chance to travel, you get exposed to a lot. And it was funny that you said that. My son asked me where did I play, and I was like, when I got to thinking about it, I was like, man, I played rock, R&B, gospel, jazz, and all these things, and for saxophone, I just did something country in the studio a couple weeks ago, which was extremely exciting. But being over the years being able to be exposed to so much music, it was easy for me to kind of flow in the lane. And then that was
Okay.
another reason why I did band, so I could learn how to read music. So reading music and playing by ear in church, it just helped us. So I like that you really emphasize being exposed to different things and just taking the information from there. Now, when you when you took that information and you got a chance to play, um, what was your practice schedule like?
My practice schedule, I was very, while I lived in Los Angeles attending that school, I made the decision when I left Tupelo that because it was expensive to go to that school and expensive to live there. So I did not want to waste a single minute. So all of our classes would start at 10 in the morning and they would go to like 6 in the afternoon. Well, the school was open 24/7 and I had an assigned practice room. So what I would do is I would get up and walk to the school and practice from 6 in the morning until my first class every day. And so, you know, I would make notes. I still have the notebooks that I took out there. I would, you know, come up with different practice exercises, but I practiced for from 6 until my first class every day. That was my routine.
Oh man. Uh so you dedicated, hey, I made a decision. This is what I'm gonna do. I like that.
Yeah.
That's something that we really push with our younger students. Go in there and play and practice and get yourself. uh, used to the work of learning
Yeah,
how to play music, because we can give you so much in that 30 or 60-minute class, but what you do at home, what you do in the practice room, is what's really going to count. So
that's right.
I'm gonna ask you this question here.
Yeah.
What who really influenced you as far as playing your drums?
There are two main. These are the main influences. I've got a list a mile long of influences, but the two main influences on my playing from a young age. The first one was Steve Ferroni. I was exposed to him through listening to Average White Band. He was not one of the original. He was not the original drummer for Average White Band, but he came in really early on because the original guy back in that time, drugs were rampant. He OD'd the original drummer, and they called Steve Ferroni in really early. So his style is so unique to me. If you go back and listen to any of that Average White Band stuff from the 70s and 80s, it is so rhythmically different than anything else I've ever heard because the guitar parts are all part of the groove along with what Steve was playing. And Steve has such a different approach to his fills, to his work on the hi-hat, the way he approaches the hi-hat. And Steve he's a master pocket player. He's not one of these, he's not a huge chops guy. He's just a groove guy, which that's what I love. So he was my first main influence. The second one was Dave Weckl. When I did not know who Dave Weckl was, I'll never forget the first time I ever heard him play anything. And I was in college. I was in my first third year of college, and his first play along package came out. It was a CD with songs with him playing and the charts, and then the other half of the CD was all those songs minus drums. The first track on that album was called "Spur of the Moment." I'll never forget it. And I put that track on in my room in my apartment at college, and I hit play on that thing, and it changed my approach to drumming forever. It rocked my world because his approach to drums, I had never heard anybody play like that. He is so. I like to take his perfection. He does not play ahead or behind the beat on anything that I've heard. He's right on it. I like to take that level of perfection, but still put some movement in the groove. But those are my two main influences.
Man, Dave Weckl is a beast. I was introduced to him through Chick Corea, who my band director O'Neill Douglas in ninth grade introduced me to Chick Corea and the Electric Band. He made
Hmm.
some tapes for me, which I still have those tapes with Kirk Whalum, David Sanborn, who is my Kirk Whalum, David Sanborn are my two, and
You
Electric
can go
Band
wrong
where
with it.
Eric Eric well, Bob Berg was on one of those with the soprano, but that group right there, and just listening to Dave Weckl, I know Thad Weatherspoon, and I when I had
Yeah,
the original school Music Masters on Bickerstaff, I had the in the drum room we had the speaker set, and he came in there one day, and I had Dave Weckl on CD, and he was like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "This is Dave Weckl," and he was like, "Oh my god!" And I think that Thad sat back there that night 6 hours playing. You know Thad. He
I do
played
know.
6 hours. I don't even think the guy came out for a bathroom break, water, nothing. He was like, "Dude, I got to have this." So yeah. Uh,
I've spent 30
Dave
years
Weckl,
trying to figure it out.
man, he is. I saw him up at Memphis Drum Shop some years back, and it's just, oh my god,
Hmm.
ridiculous,
Yeah,
ridiculous. So those influences, you said you played tapes over and over. I that actually that Electric Band tape, I broke it and I opened it up, taped it back together so I could keep it. Um, I'm real old school. They call me a little pack rat, but anyway, I said I'm a historian. But
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
on that now with that, did you ever take any music lessons?
Absolutely. Yeah, I took when I lived in Tupelo. Do you remember Whit's music?
Oh yeah, I remember Wits.
Okay, well they had a guy teaching drum lessons in there, Jimmy Webb. I think he's a pastor now, and he is actually the one that exposed me to Average White Band. So I have to credit him for even pointing me to Steve Ferroni and Average White Band. He taught me some Steve Ferroni licks in some of the lessons I went to with him.
Okay. And how
Those were
long did you
drum
do
kits.
that?
I did that off and on probably a couple of years, probably. Yeah,
Okay. All right. So do you think that helped you, or um, moved the needle
absolutely.
forward?
Yes, because I was taking drum set lessons. We weren't doing any, rudiment stuff or any kind of reading. We were just doing some different styles. He was teaching me some different grooves and stuff and styles. And he showed me, I'd never heard of Average White Band. He said, I'm going to show you an Average White Band drum groove. And he laid this groove out. I don't even remember what song it was to. And I'd never heard anything like it. And I said, you got to show me that. I've got to know that. And then tell me who played that. And from then on, I bought everything Average White Band ever did. But it
Okay.
definitely yeah, that helped. That period of time in my life, I was kind of in between the high school marching band and kind of transitioning into full set all the time, and he kind of helped me do that.
All right. So on that, so now you've gotten music lessons. You've had opportunities to be in LA. You're playing now, and I was looking at your video setup because now as musicians, we're like musicians and video and photography people because we have to be. Um,
Hmm.
what do you see the future of music becoming?
Man, you probably see this too. I don't know how much further it can go, but just really making the whole remote recording environment a little bit more uh, able to give you a little more creative freedom, because if you do remote tracks, like I do remote tracks a lot, and people will send me stuff. Sometimes it could be as bare as a click, a acoustic guitar, and a vocal. Sometimes I get full on productions, but doing stuff remotely, I'm not in the room with the other players, so I don't get to vibe off anything. And a lot of times, especially if they send me a bare bones kind of mix, I'll play something, and then I'll hear the final back, and they have added all this stuff, and I'm thinking, man, if I'd known they were going to do that, I would have done this. That's not that huge of a deal, but I hope that somehow they can figure out a way to make it more like a live recording. I know there are software packages out there that kind of let you rehearse together and that kind of thing, but that would be the only thing I would hope to see in the future as far as recording. Were you asking about the recording or just music in general?
Well, just music in general, but I mean, you made a valid point on the um, well, when COVID hit, there was a lot of things that we couldn't do before that
Hmm.
we are able to do now. And I just see the transition of us getting, as far as getting in sync, of being able to, play live and to do certain things. I do see that aspect, but um, I just wanted to see whatever thought you had, because like right now, uh, actually doing things that we're doing today, we couldn't have done 10 years ago. As far as showing your video, talking about it, getting
Exactly.
opportunities to share the way we are. I just feel like it's getting better and better and better. But as far as let me ask you this question on here. So we have a lot of young students who come in, they're looking to learn. They want to, figure out. Um, my son is one. I have an 11-year-old son. He's interested in guitar, but he said, "Dad, I'm interested in band." If you had to ask your 11 or 12-year-old Jason, what would you tell him before he started in music?
In today's world, that's what you're asking, right? In today's world,
Yep.
I don't know if I had an 11 or 12-year-old child, I don't know that they would be in school. First of all, I have to be honest. But if they were in school, I would definitely want them to be exposed to that school's band program. I'd try to pick a school that had a decent band program, and I would definitely suggest him take part not only in drums but any kind of melodic instrument. Also, this goes back to my upbringing. I wish I had taken piano lessons for a while. So I would definitely suggest to my 11 or 12-year old, get on the piano. You may think that will never come in handy, but it will. I promise you. That would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I've said that 100 times. I love saxophone. I play drums. Um, I had an opportunity to play piano, but I was like, well, I'm gonna do saxophone, so I'm good. If I had to go back, I would have done it. I would have definitely done piano because
Yeah.
uh, it's just a lot of work that you can do with it, but it's a lot of opportunity in the same sense. So I was telling my
Hmm.
son, you can either do that or you can do guitar. One of the two will definitely help you out a lot because you can chord
Definitely.
and
Yeah.
whatnot. Um, so we're gonna get ready to end it on this last question here. If if well, you said if you had a student, you wouldn't send them to school, right? So
But just being
I ain't gonna
honest.
get into that one, but yeah, we all have our choices on that, but we have a lot of parents and potential students who watch the podcast. So, you have any words of encouragement about getting started? And like I said, we have students from 5 year old to 85. So, um, if you have any words of encouragement for students who are seeking to play right now.
Yes, I do. Do it. Here's why. If for no other reason, it is going to bring you joy. And right in the world today, I mean that we all need that right now. So it's just a way of expressing creativity. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. You can do it. If you want to learn, just jump in it and do it. I would highly even like I've got some guys that are a lot older than me in their 70s, and they're saying, "Man, I wish I'd learned how to play drums." And I'm like, "You can. I mean, just do it." So don't let age get in your way. Don't let uh, the type of music you like to listen to get in the way. Don't just jump in it and do it. Take your time. I promise you, it will bring you joy, and it will bring others around you joy.
I agree. I agree. I have a student now. He called me and he said, Terrence, I've always wanted to play saxophone. I'm 82 years old. Can I still learn? I said, can you count to four? He said, yes. I said, then you can learn.
Right
So
on. Right on.
ju- jump on in it. Well,
Yes.
Jason, this has been great, and I definitely appreciate your time and the videos that you sent. Um, are you playing any venues coming up? You got any gigs coming up?
I don't have any live gigs coming up. I have a group of guys from Nashville. We get together here at the Blue Canoe like once a year. It's kind of like a fusion kind of instrumental band. We're trying to work to get something coming up here pretty soon. But really, I've just been doing stuff in my studio.
Well, we are working on some music workshops for Tupelo Music Academy, and I definitely want to put you on the list for a music workshop for our students and for our music community to offer that at the academy. So I would love to have you there if you were open to that.
Man, I would love that. Put me down. I'll do that.
Y-
And you and I need to play together.
You're absolutely right. I mean,
Yeah,
if anything, let's just link up and definitely play because we just kind of miss each other on
that's
different
right.
things.
Yeah,
Hey, I like that. We're gonna make that happen, and I'll put that on video. I'll bring some. We got to get some of the guys together and just play.
let's do it. Let's do it. Tell me when.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate your time. We're gonna end it here.
Thank you so much,
I'm gonna.
Terrence.
Yes, sir. Thank you for being a part. I'm gonna close this out and just hang on for just a sec. All right, we appreciate Mr. Palmer for being a part of the Music is Life podcast. He dropped a lot of gems about just getting out there, getting into the music, enjoying it, taking lessons, exposing yourself to different types of music, different ways of learning. Again, we are Tupelo Music Academy located here in Tupelo, Mississippi. If you're looking for music lessons on piano, guitar, bass, drums, the band instruments, and voice, give us a call 662 397-1632 or info@tupelomusicacademy.com. Send us an email. We'd love to have you. Open house is May the 6th from 10:30 to 12. And we look forward to seeing you there on that Saturday. Again, this is your boy Terrence Cummins, a.k.a. the Music Master, signing off from Tupelo Music Academy home studio. Y'all be blessed.